Hi friends, my name is Kim. Welcome back to Cottage Kim Cooks. Welcome to my kitchen. I am so happy to have you with me today. Today we are going to make a recipe from this cookbook, An American Bounty, and we are making a recipe from page 109, garlic cheese grits casserole. And I've already started the process of bringing 4 cups of water to a boil in a large pot. Well, I don't have the water to a boil, but it does say to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And we are going to make garlic cheese grits casserole. Did I already say that? I feel like I did not say that. So we're going to make garlic cheese grits casserole, and I'm going to make it with salmon. That's going to be our protein. And I am going to use my air fryer to cook the salmon. So we'll just open this up. I'm only going to cook 1 piece. My family doesn't all love salmon. And they're going to someplace called Kalahari, which is an indoor water park. So I am going to spray this. And someone told me, very good, that if I spritz it, it will come out in a stream, but if I continuously spray it, it will come out in a spray. And that was at least true for the olive oil. I'll have to give it a try on the avocado oil that we used the other day. So I'm putting my salmon in here. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on top. I know salmon's oily, but I like the flavor of the olive oil on there. I'm going to give it a little salt and pepper. And I'm going to cook it at 400. And we're going to start for about, I think I'm going to do 20 minutes. We'll see how that works. No, I'll do 15. We'll work on our remaining ingredients while this gets hot. It is not hot yet. So it says bring 4 cups of water to a boil in a large pot. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Butter a shallow baking dish. Probably should not have started that salmon because this is going to take a while. Because once it comes to a boil and we add our grits and salt, it has to cook for about 30 minutes until thick, and then it has to cook for 20 minutes in the oven. So I'm going to stop the salmon. And we'll wait until we put this in the oven before we go any further with the salmon. My mother would tell me to pick up my feet. All right, so we buttered a shallow baking dish. We're going to stir grits and 1 teaspoon of salt into boiling water. We're going to do 1 cup of grits. So let me get my 1 cup measuring. So I have my 1 cup measuring cup. And let me tell you about the other ingredients. So we want 1 cup of long cooking stone ground grits preferred. You don't want the instant. And so I got the old fashioned grits. That's what Walmart had. 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs lightly beaten. So let me go ahead. We'll use this measuring cup. And we'll put our eggs in here. Okay, there's our eggs lightly beaten. We want 1 clove of garlic minced, and I have chopped garlic, but I don't want to use chopped garlic in my grits because they're big pieces. So I'm going to try to mince this chopped garlic. I need a spoon. Our oven is preheated. Oh, that works perfectly. The rest of that garlic in there. Okay, so we have our garlic ready. We need 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1/2 and 1/4, that'll work. We need some Tabasco or similar hot sauce, and you know I'm not a huge hot sauce fan, so I have Cholula. And then 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire, cayenne pepper to taste, I'm skipping that. 2 cups grated sharp cheddar cheese. You know what? I forgot my microphone. Let me go get that really quick. Okay, hopefully that's better. 2 cups of grated sharp cheddar cheese. And I got 2 cups of grated sharp cheddar cheese. I know that some of you really don't like it when I use prepackaged shredded cheese, but that's what I'm using. And the nutrition information I'm going to tell you now while we're waiting for this to come up to a boil. It's almost to a boil. So the grit casserole itself has 220 calories, 11 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, only 18 grams of carbohydrates, and 100 milligrams of cholesterol. So it's right there where we want it to be. And having it with salmon, does the salmon tell me what the protein information? Okay, so the salmon, we're looking at 240 calories. We're looking at 240 calories, 15 grams of fat, but this is a really good fat, 60 milligrams of cholesterol, and 0 carbs, and 23 grams of protein. So between the two, we are getting 34 grams of protein, 460 calories, 35 grams of fat, 160 milligrams of cholesterol, but salmon is good for your cholesterol. So, pardon me, I have a little bit of a cold. So we're going to get these grits and not make a mess. And 4 cups of boiling water, 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to stir that. And it says to stir grits into the boiling water, reduce the heat and simmer, stirring constantly for 30 minutes or until thick. Stirring constantly, that's not my kind of recipe, you know that. But I really wanted to try cheese grits, so I'm willing to give it a try. It says to mix together our eggs, our milk, so 3/4 of a cup of milk, I know I'm using dry measures, but I already put my eggs in my wet measure. And I'm using whole milk. You can use whatever kind of milk you would like. It doesn't specify. Eggs, milk, garlic. We'll put our garlic in there. Our Tabasco. So I'm just going to use a couple dashes. I think that's enough. I'm a chicken. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. How much? A 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire. If you're diabetic and you've had a fluctuating A1C, does your vision change? So about a 1/2 teaspoon. Enough. And cayenne pepper, which we're going to omit. And then salt and pepper to taste. So we're really just waiting for this to thicken for about 30 minutes of this stirring. So we'll come back. So here's what I will tell you. If I were to make this again, I would use quick cook grits. I would not do this stirring for 30 minutes. I find that to be a waste of time, and I don't think the flavor is going to be that drastically different. I don't really know how thick it means. I guess one should know how grits normally are served. And I'm not a grits eater, but I just thought this would be an interesting dish to try. I think it's been about 30 minutes. So we're going to add slowly, because this has egg in it and we don't want it to cook. So we're going to slowly add our egg and milk mixture into our grits. I'm going to get that garlic out of there. Now we're going to add 1 1/4 cup or 1 1/2 cups of cheese, and we're going to leave a little bit of the cheese to top our casserole. That's good. Mix this. Give you an idea of what this looks like. It may not be thick enough. It seems a little loose. Pour this into our pan. And then pour mixture into buttered dish. Bake in preheated oven until firm, about 20 minutes. So we will bake it for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to start the air fryer for 20 minutes for our salmon. Well, for 15 minutes, and then I'll check it. I'm cooking it at 400. And then when the 20 minutes is up with our grits casserole, we're going to top it with the remaining cheese and cook it another 10 minutes. Okay, friends, I don't think I did something right. So we're about to see. It looks good and it smells good, but let me show you what the problem is. There's all this liquid coming off. Can you see that liquid there? There's all that liquid coming off of the grits. And I'm assuming that's water that when it baked up, it baked off. So I don't know. But we're going to give it a try. I had to take a picture really quick, so let's give this a try. It's really good, and the grits are done. I'm not sure what the liquid is. I can tell you that I would use quick cook oats. Quick cook grits. I would not use this long stirring for 30 minutes. I see no value in that whatsoever. But the flavor is phenomenal. I can taste the garlic. I can taste the Worcestershire. I can taste a little tiny bit of the Cholula, yeah, but not much. I could have put a little bit more of that in there and still been okay with it. The salmon's cooked perfectly. I cooked it at 400 for 15 minutes, and it has a crispy outside and a tender inside, so it looks wonderful. And I'm going to enjoy this meal. I'm going to drain off the rest of that liquid and salvage the grits that way. I don't want them to sit in all of that liquid. So I've already given you the nutrition information. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. This is the cookbook that I will be selling this week at 28 Marketplace in West Milton, Ohio. And you can feel free to go there and check out this recipe, check out my space, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd like me to stock. I'm looking to start making some rubs and different things like that. So give me an idea of some things that you would like for me to stock. I really enjoyed our time together today, friends. I hope that you will follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I look forward to cooking with you again soon. Take care.